I expected the Rocky Mountains to be a little more rocky than this. That John Denver's full of.
Hey, we're the NcCorchuks. We recently sold our home, bought an RV, and set out for life on the road. The plan? To enjoy our beautiful country and visit as many national parks, roller coaster parks, and ballparks along the way. Follow us on our adventure by subscribing to our YouTube channel. So after 3.5 months and 15,000 miles in 37 states, we finally made it to our final destination right here in Arizona.
Right. Last week we left Pensacola Beach and we kind of quickly traveled through Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana with a quick stop at some really great food.
Cajun food.
Cajun food.
It was kind of a new experience for some, for sure.
For sure. But we did that and we got ourselves to Texas. We got to spend the weekend with some really great friends.
And we went to Six Flags, of course, played some pickleball, and got to experience some top-rated Texas barbecue.
So after we left Texas, we traveled to New Mexico, where we stopped at the Carlsbad Caverns. And I will say it was one of the most amazing places I think we saw on this trip. I was thoroughly surprised by it.
Yeah, 800 feet under the ground. I think the trail that they have underground is 2.5, 3 miles long. So it's huge, just these huge expansive rooms. It's definitely the coolest thing we did underground. The only thing we did underground, but it was really cool. So we're getting towards the end of our trip here, and one of the things I really wanted to do was get some really dark skies and see the stars. And we hadn't really done that yet, and so we decided in New Mexico there's several little international dark sky spots, and so we decided to travel north and go to Chaco Canyon National Park where we could experience the stars. Welcome to nowhere. We are in the middle of it. Somewhere in New Mexico, headed out to Chaco Canyon National Park. And 13 miles of this drive is dirt, bumpy road like this. So we're headed about 10 miles an hour. All right, the sun has just set and we are looking forward to seeing some stars tonight. We've got a big open sky, totally clear. This is gonna be cool.
Well, it's 3 a.m. We're out looking at the stars. This is a really cool spot. There's a million stars out there. We've seen probably 20 shooting stars.
We were on Route 66 driving to our destination for the night, and we happened to see all these signs for the Petrified Forest National Park. Since we have this handy-dandy little national park pass, and it was early enough in the day, we decided to take a detour, and it goes through the Painted Hills and then the Petrified National Forest.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark.
It feels like we're running at an incredible rate, Harry.
Well, one of the last big stops we had planned was the Grand Canyon. So we got there and went right to the South Rim.
So Xavier and I decided to leave the campground, go see if we can see some stars. And so we walked about a mile back to the canyon rim from our campsite. And it's kind of cool because the moon is out, so maybe we don't get to see as much stars at this time of night at least. But it really lights up the canyon kind of nice. So.
Our last planned stop before we made it to our new home was Sedona, and we were planning on kind of parking and hiking a little bit and spending the day there. But it was so busy. It was a Sunday afternoon. There was just tons of cars there and nowhere for our 31-foot motorhome to park. So we decided, let's just keep going. So we kept going, made it to our new house here, and And that's kind of a wrap on the trip.
That's pretty crazy.
So it came to kind of an abrupt ending, but we had such a great time. And one of the things that people asked us all the time along the way was, you know, what are your favorite stops? What have you learned along the way? And so we're going to do a little frequently asked questions section here. You can stick around for and interview each one of us and what the trips meant to us. So stick around for that.
I loved that every day we got to go on a new adventure.
Just being able to be together as a family and experience new things together every single day.
I like sleeping in the top bunk of the RV. It's amazing.
Definitely seeing the big things in the US like the Statue of Liberty. It was cool to go and see the history behind all of the different big things.
We got to do a lot of cool things and see a lot of cool things. I think as far as national parks go, Bryce Canyon stands out to me. And then something that I've always wanted to do was visit different baseball stadiums. And while it was the end of the baseball season, we didn't get to go to as many as we wanted. That was a highlight for me.
The national parks for me were hands down the best part of this trip. I loved that we got to see the different landscapes and just the beauty of our country.
I liked Hershey's Chocolate Factory, mainly because of the trolley ride. That was very fun. It told us the whole story about Hershey's.
So I think as far as cities go, San Francisco was definitely my favorite day, but theme parks are kind of my favorite thing. And so Islands of Adventure was easily the best theme park that we went to.
I liked Eldon's house. He was a very nice boondocker. We got to do ATVs, we did ice cream, we had conversations with the other boondockers. We were up till like 2 in the morning. It was amazing.
Sedona Campground was the best campground that we stayed at. It had pickleball and a really nice clubhouse with a pool that we went and did after pickleball. It was pretty good.
I think seeing our friends and staying with them for a couple days was probably the best places that we stayed.
Pensacola Beach National Park was definitely my favorite place to stay. Our campsite was right there on the beach. We got to experience the white sandy beaches, beautiful days, sunrise, sunset. It was an amazing spot.
I learned to be more flexible and to go with the flow a little more. Before I was not quite as good as that, but the motorhome trip really tested the boundaries of my flexibility, and so I got to improve in that area.
Favorite thing that we learned was in Philadelphia, and we learned a lot about history.
The hardest thing on this trip for me was driving that RV. And so in that way, I think it's where I probably grew the most because I've slowly, painstakingly gotten a little bit more comfortable with driving that RV.
Well, I became a pretty good trip planner. Planning out every day what we're gonna do and then where we're gonna stay is something that was almost a part-time job. So I became pretty good at that. And I think there's a certain amount of flexibility that comes with that. So just kind of growing in flexibility and living in such tight quarters with the family, even though we love each other, it's very tight. So trying to just be able to fit and have our space requires flexibility for sure.
I think Dustin and I would both agree that just the ability to do this trip is what we're most thankful for. We are so blessed to have had the opportunity to fulfill a dream that we've had since our boys were babies.
We're thankful for that we were able to do the trip. We've been talking about it for a while, and I'm just very happy that we were able to do it.
Being able to do the trip, it was a really good trip, good experience, so thanks parents.
This trip is something that Rachel and I wanted to do for quite a while, and so the ability and the time to be able to do it in the first place, I'm really thankful for it. And then safety is always a concern, so the fact that we didn't get any accidents, there's no injuries, nobody got sick, and the trip went off without really any hiccups is something definitely I'm thankful for. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and want to continue to follow us on our adventure, then subscribe to our channel and click the notifications bell so that you can be notified every time we upload a new video along the way. Also, one of the ways that we're supporting ourselves is by selling our CBD oil, which we grew on our farm back in Oregon. So if you'd like to purchase a bottle of our CBD oil, you can go to greenmethodfarms.com and purchase it there. Thanks so much for watching this video, and make today extraordinary.